Good afternoon and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. It is Thursday, December 2nd, and it is the first Thursday of Advent, as well as the feast day of Saint Bibiana. She was a Roman virgin and martyr of the faith who was martyred in the 4th century, so the early church. And I couldn't find that much about her, but something unique is that she is the patron saint of hangovers. So if you had a little bit too much to drink, St. Bibiana might be one you want to intercede with. And then also make more wise, prudent decisions in your drinking habits. Anyway, today's gospel is from Matthew chapter 7, verses 21 and 24 through 27. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen. Not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father in heaven. Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who built his house on rock. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, but it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on rock. And everyone who listens to these words of mine but does not act on them will be like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house, and it collapsed and was completely ruined. Pretty clear gospel today. It does say, Jesus is pretty straight up where he says, the very first line, not everyone who says to me, Lord, Lord, will enter the kingdom of heaven. So there's more than just believing in God. But you got to keep in mind, Satan himself cried out, Lord, Lord, and believed in God, but went against his will. So, hence the road that we are on with our Christian discernment. Let's see what the word among us says today. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew. Storms are inevitable, both in nature and in life. To survive them, Jesus says we need to build our lives on the firm foundation of His Word. But how do we do that, especially when we're being buffeted by rain and wind? Since it's Advent, let's take a few minutes to reflect on the storms that Mary and Joseph encountered and how their example can help us to build our own lives on the rock of Christ. Mary and Joseph faced an unplanned pregnancy, an uncomfortable journey to Bethlehem, and a hurried flight to Egypt. The stories in the Bible don't offer much detail, but that doesn't mean those situations were simple to navigate or that trust in God came easily. Mary and Joseph were human like us. They probably faced a host of questions, emotions, and fears, just as we can. But because the Lord was already their firm foundation, they listened to His word, trusted that He knew what was best for them, and did what He was asking. And through their obedience, God saved the world. The storms of life can be frightening, and suffering and hardship can give way to real loss. But the Lord is with us always, speaking to us, showing us how to navigate each situation. As we imitate Mary and Joseph by listening to God and obeying His word, we can trust that He will keep our house from collapsing. Not only that, but our faith in Him will be even stronger when we face the next storm. Today, spend a few extra minutes meditating on one of the Holy Family's storms and how they reacted to you. Put yourself in their shoes and imagine what they must have felt or thought. Then think of a storm you might be experiencing right now. How can you listen, trust, and obey God as they did? How can you make your foundation in Christ even stronger than it is right now? Let's ask for the grace to respond to the turbulence in our lives as Mary and Joseph did. Like them, may we always be that wise man or woman who builds their lives on the unshakable rock of the Lord and His word. Lord, you are my foundation. Help me build my life on you. It's a good reflection. It's our choice. Have a great day. God bless. And keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, and Spirit, amen.